Welcome to Toy Fair University. Next up, we have the Toy Foundation, Keys to Corporate Giving. Our moderator is Pam Mastrota of the Toy Foundation. Pam?
Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you all for coming this busy time during Toy Fair. We appreciate your attending, and of course our esteemed panelists. I just want to have everybody introduce themselves so you get to know who they are and their connection to the Toy Foundation. Deb? Oh, Nancy.
Right.
We'll
Hello,
start with
everyone. I'm Nancy Molenda, and I lead global philanthropy for Mattel, as well as our global corporate events team. Happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Donna MacNeil. I'm the president of Beacon Communications, part of Beacon Media Group, and we're very proud partners of the Toy Foundation.
Hi, everyone. Crazy Aaron from Crazy Aaron's, also sometimes known as Aaron Muderick. And I run the Crazy Aaron's division inside Goliath and ran Crazy Aaron's for 27 years.
Hi, I'm Deb Silver. I'm the Senior Manager of Community Relations at Jazzwares. We're also a proud partner of the Toy Foundation and so excited to be here today.
Well, thank you all for being here and taking the time out today to talk to our group here. We're so excited about this panel and here to discuss corporate philanthropy and how it's evolved as a key business strategy, creating win-win situations for companies and for communities that we serve. And the toy industry, as you all know, are an unwavering sense of community and incredible passion to give back. And our four panelists are a complete example of the good work that has. And research increasingly shows that having a corporate giving strategy positively affects your business. So we're super excited to talk about this. And this is where the Toy Foundation comes in. To give you these opportunities, we work in service every day with the toy industry to support and offer corporate philanthropy opportunities across the companies to create a world where all children can experience play. So just a quick background about the Toy Foundation. We are the philanthropic arm of the Toy Association, who runs this amazing toy fair. So we are the unifying force for the collective philanthropy of the industry and to benefit all children in need. It's the only industry-wide nonprofit working with companies of all sizes and types to elevate their philanthropy, whether it's in-kind or financial support. And together we've impacted 38 million children through our two key programs. I want to just briefly mention the Toy Chest. This is one of our key programs. It's the toy industry's only program, industry-wide program, that picks up donated product at no cost to the companies. We have a network of over 1,000 nonprofits throughout the country that deliver toys all around the world. And this includes toys to under-resourced communities, schools, children's hospitals, and disaster relief. Just to give a snapshot, in 2025, we picked up and distributed 2.2 million toys valued at about $31 million. Our Play Fund program, this is the toy industry's funding initiative, where the Toy Foundation distributes grants to children's hospitals nationwide and to nonprofits on the ground providing disaster relief. And these grants go specifically to play projects and that help children cope, feel empowered, and support their overall well-being. And in 2025, we distributed $450,000 to impact 250,000 children. So let's get to our panelists. I want to just provide a quick note about the benefits of corporate philanthropy. Corporations donate an average between 20 and 26 billion to nonprofits annually to U.S. corporate giving. We're super excited. This is part of why we're here and collect the toys, collect in-kind toys, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. But I want to talk to our team about their experience of how does their corporate philanthropy evolve over the past years. Things have changed. What trends are you seeing as it relates to corporate philanthropy? Nancy, can we start with you?
Sure, of course. Amazing work this past year with all of your giving, and we're very, very proud to be a part of that as well. I think I'm always going to say, whether it's a trend now or it was, collaboration to me is the way to go. This world has so much happening, and it would be crazy to think that just one company could look to solve these issues on their own. And so the trend in my mind is always going to be bringing in more people, expanding that impact. Think the manufacturers here, they have, the power of the product. The entertainment companies that are here, they influence culture. We all come together to serve our nonprofit together from many different angles, and I think that is the trend today. I feel like it was even years ago, and it's just building up, and that's definitely where it's going. And we see that with the Toy Foundation, and that's really your job. You bring us all together to serve a greater impact, because it's just not one of us that can handle it on their own. So.
Thank you. Anyone else want to comment on that? Deb, the
Sure.
trend?
I think that another interesting trend that we're seeing that's super exciting is that nonprofits are actually using the data that they have available to be able to provide these fantastic impact reports that show us more of the impact of our support, and it allows us to make evidence-based decisions about our support, which is just so helpful to us. And then also we're seeing a rise in hyper-focused on community support. So I think the more and more, right, that we all grow, we still want to make it a point to be supporting the communities where we live, work, and play through product donations and through support and time and talents of our team.
Great. Aaron, did you want to comment on that, how things have changed?
Sure. I mean, at Crazy Aaron's, we're a slightly different scale. An owner-operated company that has grown over the years. Than Jazzwares and Mattel are large organizations, but we look at our immediate focus. We are based in Philadelphia, so how can we help Philadelphia? And since we sell toys, how do we help children in Philadelphia? And that sort of trend there. And then our product has been made for decades using work from intellectually and physically disabled individuals, and we look to focus our efforts in that direction. And when we receive larger national requests or requests from customers who are clearly supporting and connected to our business, we look for alignment with those characteristics to understand where we can be effective.
Awesome. Thank you.
I would also just add to that I think that the programs with impact that are landing really well are the ones that are really authentic, that are genuine, and really demonstrate the care and the DNA of the companies that those are doing it. And part of that is talking about collaboration, not only with companies and organizations and nonprofits, but with your staff. So those programs where they have staff and they have whether it's local or national or whatnot, people getting involved, showing the human face of the company, doing good out in the community, makes a world of difference.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate your answers. I'm curious, Nancy and Deb, you both have large philanthropic arms of your businesses, your own kind of foundation as well, and Jazzworks Cares as well. Can you speak to the value behind these initiatives, and both internal with employees and externally with consumers?
Start us off.
I'll kick it off. We're really lucky at Mattel that Mattel Philanthropy and all of our programs in the community and through the foundation aren't really on the peripheral of the business, but they're actually ingrained in our business. And so it makes it really easy to make an impact internally and externally, because we have the support of our brands and our storytelling and our PR and our communications. And that really makes a big difference when you're trying to show your impact internally. So number one, internally, we feel that absolutely what we do in Mattel Philanthropy and how that trickles out through our brands affects the culture in such an amazing way with our employees. We all know our employees want to work for companies where they can get behind and feel the impact and feel good about where they work. I really feel that the heart of where that sits is the responsibility in Mattel Philanthropy, and then we partner with everyone else within the company to really expand on that for our employees. And then externally, for us, it again is just part of the DNA. It's part of our storytelling, the way we market our products. It's all done, as you mentioned, very authentically, so that it shows up in the marketplace and with our fans and our consumers and our retailers, that it, again, it's not, philanthropy isn't just something that's tagged on to a part of a campaign or something that comes and goes, but it actually is integrated into everything that we do.
Thank you, Nancy. Deb, do you have?
Those are great points, and it's like we had the same thoughts this morning.
Always.
But you know, I think also for us, Jazzwares Cares is part of our DNA. It has been part of Jazzwares since the very first day that we were founded, and I think that all of our employees have come to know that they can be a part of it in different ways. So whether it is voting on the wish that we're going to grant or deciding which volunteer opportunities they're going to participate in, they really feel a part of the Jazzwares Cares momentum and proud to be part of something that's giving back to the community all the time. And then I think in addition to everything Nancy said, I think we can kind of all agree that happier, healthier, stronger communities benefit everybody. So whether that's with our consumers, whether that's with our employees, and just everyone in the community, we feel that that's why it's so important to continue to create the impact that we have.
Great. Thank you so much, Deb. Aaron, quick question for you, or not so quick, but you've given so much and so much back to the Toy Foundation through corporate investments, in kind, and limited edition product runs, which I just want to do a shout out. Aaron's company donated 1,000 pieces. I'm going to just show it. Why not? This is being sold right over there, purchased with a purpose. But Aaron donated 1,000 pieces to be sold, and that goes to the Toy Foundation. So we're very appreciative of that, and please feel free to purchase. But another a unique way that you give back is through board leadership with the Toy Foundation. Can you speak about how your dedication and about why you dedicate your time as a member of, and then he's also an advisory member to the Toy Association as well.
Sure. I mean, look, it was an honor to be asked to be part of the board of the Toy Foundation. Probably, you know, how did that happen? Well, because whenever we saw initiatives or calls for the foundation to go out, there is an opportunity for smaller businesses. While companies like MacNeil and Jazzwares spend months planning strategic initiatives to support the broader industry or to support their own programs, as a smaller company, what do we get? Well, we can be a little more nimble. We can make decisions a little more on a dime. They are maybe a little smaller in terms of dollars and impact, but they help to build a product for the foundation to show that it is always working for who it's advocating, that is children in need, children who are suffering through disasters, children who are sick. And so by participating in that, I was asked, hey, you seem like a helper. Would you like to be part of the foundation? And of course I said yes. When you're running a business or you just have a job in a business, it can be very intense and very stressful. And I think the most common feeling is, I don't have time for this. Maybe the second is, even if I did have time for this, does it benefit me in some way? The reality is, someone wise once said, the way to learn how to fly is to throw yourself at the ground and miss. And the way you miss is by being distracted at the last moment. And by keeping yourself engaged, by going out there into the world, joining a board where you're learning things you didn't even know you didn't know. Like,
that's pretty cool.
there you go. That is where you will be able to level yourself up, to grow up. So being on the board has been an honor for me. I have learned a tremendous amount. And of course, being there has then helped us to be more strategic in the participation that we offer as a company, make it more impactful, more meaningful. We always say work smarter, not harder. How can I do the same work today that I did yesterday, but make twice as much impact? And I think my foundation participation has been part of that.
It certainly has, and we appreciate your support and passion to our mission too, Aaron. Thank you. Just want to touch on so many different ways the corporate giving and opportunities to engage with the Toy Foundation, and whether it's financial, as I mentioned earlier, in-kind donations, customized partnerships, POS campaigns, and certainly employee engagement, as Nancy mentioned. So I want to touch on that. Nancy, can you speak to Mattel's investment to delivering play to children's hospitals and how you've been able to expand upon this work with the Toy Foundation?
Yes, definitely. First, I want to go back to a point that Aaron made. I love that, sure, big companies in our strategy and our long-term planning, but I really love and yearn for the way that you work. Like, someone calls, you want to be able to drop and make an impact, and I love that, and I actually kind of feel like that's the most favorite part of my work, is when you just get a call and you're able to help on a dime. So kudos to you for all that work. And then as far as the hospital program, so children's health has been a pillar of, Mattel. I'm sure everyone in the industry, we want to make sure that children going through one of the toughest times in their lives, they're still able to experience childhood if they are in a children's hospital for an extended period of time. We've always invested our time and our talents, product, dollars. But I know when we connected, Pam, years ago, and you were really interested in expanding this program and reaching children's hospitals in rural parts of the U.S. that you don't see with all of the great big marketing campaigns that maybe a St. Jude does or other hospitals, that's when I knew the collaboration was going to click for us. I wanted to be a part of that. We wanted to invest in that because we knew that you had the boots on the ground to run that specific process and program that we might not have been able to do by ourselves. But you brought us in. I know Brittany on my team is a part of kind of evaluating the process of all the projects that come in from the hospitals. And it's just the very explicit collaboration that I keep talking about, and we looked, that was a perfect opportunity for us, and the investment has been worthwhile. We see the impact, we see the pictures and the stories and everything, and so that just really exemplifies why that was the right move to make, and we'll continue.
Thank you, Nancy. And we continue to invest more. The Toy Foundation board just approved late quarter, in the fourth quarter, more dollars. We've donated more than $2 million in hospital grants. So we're super excited about this year, too, because we are funding 38 grants for children's hospitals, to Nancy's point, most in under-resourced communities, and all connected to play. But so we appreciate Mattel and your support and Brittany's support in making those important decisions too, because we get about $1 million of requests a year. So we're close. We're at 600 this year. So thank you. Thanks, Nancy. Deb, we want to talk about in-kind donations. Jazzwares Cares has done probably one of the largest product donations to the Toy Foundation, and we're thrilled to receive a portion of what you do throughout the year. Can you speak to how and why donating product supports the business, and what are the benefits of donating product to the Toy Foundation?
Sure, absolutely. Well, we believe that everybody has the right to play, and that, everyone deserves these moments of joy. And simply because perhaps your situation doesn't allow you to purchase these toys or to be in a position to get them all the time, we still want to give them to you. But we're a very small team for giving, and we're not able to get to all of the organizations that we'd like to be able to reach. So the Toy Foundation has been just an incredible partner to us in helping us to expand our reach, to meet people where they are, and to also be able to really help communities in crisis. So after a natural disaster, well, we can't get on the ground quickly enough, but you're already there, and you're there right away helping, and we're just so glad to be a part of that.
Thank you so much, Deb. And part of that is our connection to World Vision. So there's 7 distribution sites throughout the country. So when disaster does hit, to your point, we don't have those, the Toy Foundation doesn't have those sites, but World Vision moves product within 24 hours with disaster relief. So we're so fortunate to have that partnership. And by the way, they're here with us today, and at the end of the show, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we sweep with 100 volunteers and we collect about 35,000 pieces, toys that go to children, and it's brought to their distribution site in Pittsburgh and then gets distributed throughout the year. So that partnership with Jazzwares, with companies around, many companies here, obviously the product comes, but it's an exciting opportunity after the long 4 days at Toy Fair. But I tell you, those volunteers come in and they're ready and they sweep, and we jump over cables and fill bins, and it's just a really incredible opportunity. So thank you for your continued support around that. Aaron, I want to get back to kind of the customized partnerships as another way that corporate giving happens, and you've worked with us to launch cause marketing campaigns where you customize the piece that I just showed that actually has the Toy Foundation logo on it. It has a beautiful quote, 5 different quotes from the partners that we work with. So this is, our limited edition, our first time doing this with your company. And like I said, please check it out. But can you speak to how you landed on this avenue to give in a way that supports the business?
Well, again, being a smaller company, we like to be nimble. We like to say yes. And we also like to think creatively about how we can customize product, because we sell collectible products. So we know that people like special versions, limited editions, but how can we customize it in a way that's cost effective? So, for example, if it was a action figure doll, probably cannot create new tooling on a time frame, let alone a budget, to support a foundation donation. But there are creative ways for all of our products to really customize them and make them special, and then work with our social media team to lean into our biggest fans to be able to drive demand for them to purchase those products. It brings meaning and value to them to have that special, rare part of their collection, and it also drives dollars to the Toy Foundation. And to do that in partnership with retailers like we did with Chuck E. Cheese, or to do it with the foundation or through our online store, all of that ultimately drives dollars that serve children in need.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate that. Let's talk about POS campaigns. They've exploded over the last few years. From Roundup campaigns, you see them at retail at different stores to add $1 to your purchase. And the latest data that we pulled from 2022, where charities raised $749 million nationwide from point of sale donations. It's a huge jump from 2020, 24% jump. So this is a huge place for us to be and to be thinking about, and that's just from campaigns that brought over $1 million. So incredible numbers. Donna, I was hoping maybe you could share, and for the whole group, but can you touch on consumer response? Like, how do POS campaigns impact company relationships with consumers?
I think what's wonderful is that it gives everyone an opportunity to participate at any level. If I have $1, I get to give, and giving that $1 is as meaningful for me as someone who may be able to give very, very much more. But you're opening up the opportunity for me to become part of that giving campaign. It feels good to do good, and I think that expands the opportunity for everyone to be part of that giving community as well, which is terrific.
Anyone else comments around the experience of POS donations?
Yeah, I'll comment, as we had a really, for us, I think we've seen a lot of good lift when it's around disaster relief. And we're lucky enough, we have American Girl, part of our portfolio, and they have retail locations. And so we have been utilizing a POS system at American Girl tied to, we did a big campaign last year, as I know the Toy Foundation, the whole industry got involved in serving what happened with the LA wildfires. But we see that I love POS because you can do that at a drop of a hat, right? Like, you can turn that on pretty quickly, and in disaster relief, that's key. And that again, that's an authentic story that can be told quickly to the consumer, usually because it's a quick flip of the switch. It's happening in real time when the disaster is in motion and everybody's ready to give. We've seen that's kind of when the best results happen, when you run a campaign like that. And I think, again, when you see everybody collaborating and doing something like that around disaster relief, that's when you see the best impact.
And, just to add, while we haven't delved into that yet, I want to say I love the idea of what you're saying, Donna, that $1 allows you to participate and be part of this group that's going to make this larger collective difference, and that is so cool. That's a really great point.
Great, thank you so much. And what about employee engagement? So the rate of employees participating in workplace volunteerism continues to grow. The Association of Corporate Citizenship Professionals conducted a survey last year that showed a third consecutive year of increased employee participation in workplace volunteer programs. Can you speak to any employee volunteer initiatives you've implemented that worked, and what did you learn from those?
Sure. So we call ourselves Jazzmanians at Jazzwares, and each Jazzmanian is given 16 hours per year to volunteer for causes that they feel strongly about to give back to the community. Now, that said, there are many people who want to get involved, but they don't know how or where. So we provide opportunities locally at each office for employees to be involved. And then something we've really seen a rise in is an interest in micro-volunteering. People are saying, hey, I have a lot on my plate. I'm super busy. I have an hour and I want to help. How can we do that? So again, we're trying to meet people where they are and provide opportunities where they can create a meaningful impact in a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's great. I hear that term a lot, the micro-volunteering, and so we're working on, how to be able to allow people to do that. We just launched a platform for us that it might not be, it's a different form of volunteering rather than actively out in the community or taking time away from the office, but we launched with a company that has a platform, it's called Pledge. And we drop in dollars into employee wallets and open it up so that they can donate dollars or even request moments that we can then curate from these organizations through Pledge for volunteer opportunities. We have a great nonprofit partner that's joining us today, Good Plus. They're here in New York City. I'll just call them out as well. Organizations like that create moments, and they're such good partners. When you find the right nonprofit, they will create that moment for your volunteers to come out, tell their story, and that really is what ignites our employees around the stories and the children that we're helping. But we also really quickly just celebrated Mattel's 80th anniversary, and there's nothing better than an anniversary of a product or your company or any special moment within the year to really rally around a specific mission, a specific impact, and also an annual moment, right? Whether it's an anniversary, but we always like to just curate one moment a year where we know our employee base, that's the day. That is the global day of play. We're all going to come together. It gets everyone excited all year round. You develop programs and processes around it, and it becomes an annual event that everyone looks forward to.
Just something else that I'm thinking about as you're speaking is our teams do not have time to work together out in the community with children and families. We spend so much of our time thinking about kids and families and thinking about product and what connects with them and what do they need and what are they going to like. But brand teams and company teams don't actually get to interact a whole lot. So I think actually going out into the community as teams together actually make us better at what we do too, because those are bonding moments for us with the people that we serve every day as our corporate mission, both from a giving perspective and from a business perspective.
And I'll add to that, community engagement, acting locally, thinking globally, to use an old phrase, is very important. And sometimes it's easier just to act than to plan. So, we do, and this is led by the employees. Our offices and factory are located in an economically disadvantaged community. And so we just go out there and we just pick up trash on the street for a morning or an afternoon, right? The company can support that. It's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. It's easier to ask the municipality to come take all those bagged items away at the end than to sort of kind of get lost in the planning phase and then nothing actually happens. And there's other ways that we've been able to engage with employees going. Cradles to Crayons was another sort of child-focused organization that has a warehouse nearby where people can just go and micro-volunteer and give in different ways without creating too much strategy around it. But then once it starts to happen and is successful, then employees get engaged and want to start strategizing and working as a group, sort of off in company time, right? Because they've really found something to connect with their community.
And, I just wanted to add one more point that, as I'm hearing us all talk about the connections that we're all making, more and more we're really in this digital world. So I think that employees, teams, we're craving this connection, and volunteering really provides an opportunity for employees to get together and engage and connect with one another in a real way.
That's great. Thanks so much, Deb. I appreciate that. All the responses. So many different ways, regardless of the size of the company, to engage. But when you think about where it started, for a company just getting started in corporate social responsibility initiatives, what advice or tips do you have for them to get things rolling, regardless of the size of the company?
Okay, I'll jump in here as the little guy. I mean, like I said, you just do it. So I think part of it is as the the owner or the person in charge of just making a decision and doing a thing. And then the second step immediately is how do you hand off that ownership to other people in the organization? Because it needs buy-in. Otherwise, you might as well just write a personal check. And so by getting your organization involved, that's when people start feeling that connection and those opportunities, and it can grow into something bigger where your employees are coming to you and saying, we're looking for you to participate more. And you're like, well, I'm looking for you to participate more. And then you come up with a plan so that everybody does both.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
And
Well, I'll just echo that because as you know, our foundation is almost a 50-year foundation, and it started with somebody saying, hey, can we give some scholarships out to our employees' kids that they can't afford? And, it builds from there. You just do a thing, and then it becomes a heritage, part of your company. And so I completely agree. It's just get out there and do that. And I like to even practice that now when in the big org and the matrix that we have, sometimes we just do a thing and it becomes something more than you ever expected.
I agree. And I think also it's important, just ask. Like, we like to ask our employees throughout the year, what are the causes that are important to you? What would you like to see us support? Because that helps to shape our philanthropy and just to shape our goals throughout the year. So I think checking in and just kind of taking the temperature of your team and seeing what they would like to support is a really great way to start.
I would agree with that. I would say mean it. Choose and act and mean it. And it doesn't matter exactly what the giving is. It doesn't matter what the nonprofit is. It doesn't matter. Do it and mean it. And that's going to be something powerful and meaningful for your staff and for your consumers.
I agree, and I think just giving them an opportunity to see a mission in motion, so whether they're choosing it or say, you champion a specific mission, but seeing it in action is very different. And even with Donna, with Beacon, when some of your team came to a neonatal unit that you were funding and helping to fund, seeing that in action to see where their dollars would go to help those families with those children was really profound. So I really appreciate, on every level, working with all four of your companies, we've seen the impact when folks see the mission in action. So I appreciate all of your initiatives as it also relates to the Toy Foundation. So on companies' minds is how their giving back translates to their consumers. Any advice do you have for companies using philanthropy as a tool to grow consumer loyalty, excuse me?
I can jump in.
Sure.
So coming from PR and marketing, I can tell you what not to do first. Is it doesn't start with a press release. If your goal is to get some publicity, you are starting from the wrong place. The narrative will come from the meaning of the program and the action that you're taking. So when you do it and you do it in a genuine and authentic way, like we were talking about, it's like that will resonate. When you look at everyone that's here and the work that you're doing, we know that about you, not because you're publicizing it, not because you're making that a part of your marketing campaign, but because those stories come, because your consumers are talking about you, your retail partners are talking about you, and people are proud to participate. So I think I sound like a broken record when I say do it and mean it, but I think that's really the first place to start, and then the consumer recognition will follow that.
Yeah, 100%. I almost takes my breath away to hear it's not about, that's not where it should come from first, right? It's authentically taking the work that you're doing, the business, the product that you're making and wanting to do this in the community, and everything then just follows. It's the transparency. It makes me wince a little. Like, that's not where you start. You start with just the passion, and from there your consumer will see it as authentic. Regular storytelling, a part of the way that you do business, is rooted in this transparent authenticity, and that the community is important.
Ladies, I have no notes there. I want to tell you that I agree with what both of you said so wholeheartedly.
I think we all would. That was like a whoo. Yeah.
Thank you. And that's, the beauty of these relationships too, with all of your companies and all of you personally, is just the passion you bring to the work, and the partnership with the Toy Foundation and with us and my team and our board of trustees. It expands way beyond the consumer place, but wanting to bring play to children in need is where we are in the space we are. So the more people we work with, the more we just, I'm getting a 5-minute. So I just want to make sure that, I wanted to introduce a couple of my team members too, who are all of these programs that we talked about, and the Toady event, if those of you that might have attended our Toy of the Year Award event on Friday night, are responsible for doing for our Toy Chest program, for our Play Fund program. I just want to have them stand so you get an eyeball on Erin Wright, our manager of programs and marketing, of Kevin Coleman, our director of development, and we are a powerhouse of 3. So I want to encourage anyone that would like to talk to us about ways of engaging with the Toy Foundation. We're going to take, and for the panelists, please, we're going to go to the right over here for Q&A. So we won't do it on stage, but we're going to go over to the right here where the yellow couches are and take any questions. But I want to thank all of you for being here today through your busy schedules. Even more importantly, just the support and that you've given to the Toy Foundation. And as we expand mission, we've grown the mission, Nancy, as you said. Right when I came in, you were one of the first people I reached out to, and I'm so appreciative of the 4 of you as individuals and your companies for your passion of bringing play to children in need. We really appreciate it, and thank you.
Well, we thank you for bringing us all together. I mean, the philanthropic folks and all of these companies, we're the ones that will collaborate with you to get the most done.
So, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.